Hi there, and welcome to this day in history for November 3rd. November 3rd is the 307th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, 308th in leap years, with 58 days remaining to the end of the year. Today's word is Fauvism. Fauvism is a word used to describe a style of a group of early 20th century painters who came to be called Le Fauve, which means the wild beasts. They were so called because of the way that they used color in their paintings. It was quite a different style than people had become accustomed to before these artists came along, and it may have taken a bit of getting used to. Fauvism as an artistic movement was led by artists André Derain and Henri Matisse, and really only lasted a few years, but it sure had an impact. Fauvism. This is the birthday of Italian sculptor and artist Benvenuto Cellini, born November 3rd, 1500. He made sculptures in gold, bronze, and marble, and drawings, and even wrote an autobiography. I have certainly admired his work, but in learning a little more about him in the course of today's research, he sounds like quite a character. Benvenuto Cellini lived to the age of 70. On November 3rd, 1911, the Chevrolet Motor Car Company was founded, officially entering the automobile market and in competition with the Ford Model T. If you've ever wondered where that name came from, Chevrolet, as I have, the company is named after some of its founders, Arthur and Louis Chevrolet. In addition, there was a third founder, William C. Durant, and it seems like Mr. Durant was really behind the whole thing. He had founded the General Motors Company 3 years previously, but had been removed from the board of directors in 1910 when his attempted acquisition of the Ford Motor Company failed, putting General Motors at some financial distress. I guess Mr. Durant wasn't really quite done being in the car business, though, so he partnered up with Swiss race car driver Louis Chevrolet and his brother Arthur to form the Chevrolet Motor Company. A few years later, Mr. Durant managed to acquire controlling interest in General Motors when Chevrolet consolidated into GM. Eventually, the Chevrolet line of General Motors cars was chosen to become the volume sales leader under the idea of a car for every person and purpose. They pointedly and decidedly set out to outsell Ford, and they achieved that, overtaking Ford as the best selling car in the United States by 1929 with a car called the Chevrolet International. Henri Matisse was a French artist influential in the late 1800s and into the early 1900s, along with Pablo Picasso. We talked about Picasso the other day. Matisse was actually studying law when he had an attack of appendicitis. Ouch. He discovered painting while he was recovering and came to love it so much that he decided to become an artist instead. Regarding art, Matisse was a draftsman, which means he was good at drawing pictures, a printmaker, and a sculptor, in addition to being a painter, for which he is most known. Matisse's work is notable for his use of color and his draftsmanship. Later in life, when he couldn't quite paint anymore, he took to making cut paper collage. Henri Matisse was a very productive artist, and we mention him today because he passed away on November 3rd, 1954, at the age of 84. And that's all I have for you today. I hope you learned something you didn't know before. Thank you so much for watching. The links to my sources are in the show notes. Give it a like if you enjoyed this video. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. And feel free to share this video with others. You could do that with the link in your email, messaging, or social media. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.